Okay, today we're going to be trying to imitate the style of Roy Lichtenstein. You can see here I've drawn out one of his food items. It's possible that you can look at things from the Phoenix Theatre like hot dogs and also things like popcorn, milkshakes, etc. I'm just doing a steak here, food item, and as you can see I'm blocking in large areas here with thick outline. Lichtenstein would do this in order to simplify the food items that he was drawing. You can see blocking in using lots of tone, thick outline all the way around here on the steak, okay, all the way around the back, and areas here, the side of the steak, we're following the three-dimensional form as we were taught earlier on. We'll do a small kind of triangle here, and we know that these lines are curving around with the steak, so we curve them around using thick outline. You see, so it's following the form of the outside part of the steak. Again, I've pre-drawn this for the purpose of the demo, so most of the steak's drawn in. I can't do everything. I'm just going to give an indication of the main concept. Again, nicely drawn in here, and areas of the steak here drawn right in. Okay, down here. Again, simplifying. Don't need to do every sinew, don't need to do every part of the flesh of the meat. Just do an indication of the main outline, and where the highlights are, as you can see here, I would indicate by drawing a small circle and hit the highlights. And again down here. Okay. What I've done on part of the steak is to actually use a biro, red felt tip pen, fine liner, to catch the redness of the meat. Now, sometimes when you use felt pens, they can tend to smudge a little bit when you put the benday dot system over. So I'm using, for this purpose, red biro here, drawing in the areas of the flesh. Now Lichtenstein would project these images up onto a screen, draw around them, and basically complete the outline and the dark areas like I've just done on here. And then what he'd cleverly do would use a wire mesh with holes inside it, and what that wire mesh would do would transfer the industrial dots which you see on comics onto the surfaces where he wanted. He'd tape around the rest of the areas he didn't want the dots to be, and then push the paint through and overnight leave it, take the wire mesh off in the morning, and any dots which had slight imperfections would kind of like almost Tipex around them. We can't do that here. We don't have wire meshes for all the students. You see, I'm just filling in this area of red here. So what we're going to do is invent a system whereby we're reciprocating what Lichtenstein would have done. And you can do that, but you must be very careful to produce a grid. Generally 45 degrees one way, 45 degrees the other way, in which you can then fit small dots. That's what we're going to do now. So basically drawn in there. Here we go. So we're going to reciprocate Lichtenstein's benday dot system, which he called it. I'm drawing these lines. They've been done before, pre-demo here. Just slightly drawn them in. They've got to be exactly the same size either side there, can you see? And if they're not, you can always rub them out and make sure that they do fit there. We're going to have the dots outside the steak. It's very important that if you have any dots within the steak or any areas, Lichtenstein usually used the lightest areas to produce dots on faces, on hot dogs, etc. But you might want to put them on other areas of the steak, not just the outside. So it's important to basically, when you do these dots, have an idea that they might be going the other way as well. And we've got this one here. Now within this area here, you should be able to fit the dots. And the more accurate the squares are, the easier it would be for you to produce a consistent band of dots, so it looks as though it's been in an industrial printer, as Lichtenstein tried to reproduce in his work, as he found that he loved the actual industrial printers which produced Marvel comics, and that was his inspiration to create art and paintings from comics. And there we go, you can see the dots here. Set the grid up quite nicely. Now what we're going to do, we're going to be doing a complementary colour background here. So what I'm going to do is start by doing the dots inside each one of those squares there, and as you can see they don't fit all the way around there. Go in there, make them larger. And you can see the system being created here. Now some of the boys who struggle can use these dots which are pre-made. Just show you here, we can basically, I think your system for the dots would maybe need to be a little bit bigger. You can see here, actually about 45 degrees. And if you were to use self-adhesive dots, as was shown on the PowerPoint slides, you could fit them in. Maybe dots needing to be slightly larger in this instance, because these self-adhesive dots are actually quite big, so the grid would have to be slightly larger, and that can be done in that way. We can continue looking at complementary mixtures here. Now if you don't want to have any dots inside the steak, basically you can rub out the grid, and then you can also rub the grid out on the outside when you've finished, and the effect will be fantastic. So I'm just going to continue with this, and I hope you've understood the system of benday dots by Lichtenstein.